Hi guys, it's Arielle here from Fix My Books, and today we will be talking about the top 5 problems we've encountered during tax season for individuals. So Fix My Books does offer personal tax filing services, so if you have a more complicated situation and you need some help filing your personal taxes, please don't hesitate and reach out and we'll get started. Okay, so number 1, missing receipts and documents. Number 2, tax returns from previous years are not filed. Number 3, no planning till taxes are due. Number 4, failing to understand your tax situation. And number 5, expecting a refund. So number 5 is the biggest thing, actually. Okay, number 1, receipts and documents. So even though the Income Tax Act says that receipts are not required, it is in the CRA's handbook that receipts are required. So it's very important that you keep all receipts and other supporting documents for everything that you're claiming in your tax returns. Should the CRA have any questions, should you get reassessed or audited, this is very important. I know some people just put, kind of numbers that they estimate in their head, but it's very important that you actually have the supporting documents for that. So donation, medical receipts, etc. are needed to justify your claims, or the claims may be disallowed. I've mentioned this previously. Another thing why you should have the receipts and documents, because when you're claiming these things and you don't have the supporting documents, you might actually miss a donation or two, right? So you want to make sure that you claim everything that you actually donated or all the credits that you have. So it's really important that you have paper copies or digital copies of these, and it's not just all in your head. Number 3, mileage tracking is also important if you are claiming vehicle expenses. So not just receipts, like physical receipts, but it's really important that you have a mileage tracker. So this could either be a logbook or it could be an app. So a lot of my clients use different apps to track their mileage. We recommend actually Mile IQ. It's very helpful. It's easy to use. So you can check out Mile IQ. It's an app. I think it's on Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as well. Okay, so let's move on to the second number, which is incomplete tax returns. So there are some people who would come to us that say, like, this year they need to file their 2021 taxes. And so, we're happy to help out. We do obviously our own checks, and we see that, hey, your 2017 or your 2016 isn't filed. You should file that first before we move on to 2021. And that is because, right, you may have outstanding credits or balances owing to the CRA, which can be applied to the current year's tax return. So what if you have a credit from a previous year that you didn't file that you could use this year? So that's why it's very important that you file in order. So this is especially true of capital gains. If you've suffered an investment loss, like many people did in 2021 due to crypto, these losses can offset your capital gains in prior years and vice versa. So that's why it's very important that we file everything in order so we can claim the maximum tax deduction legally possible on your returns. Next, there is no planning till taxes are due. So most people just think of, taxes once April hits. That's really the incorrect way to think about it. Once January hits, you should really be looking at, how you can maximize your tax savings for the year. So if you only think about taxes during April, then you've already missed the RRSP contribution window, which is usually on March 1st. So that's one way to help reduce your taxes owing. And if you are not preemptive or there's no planning, then you won't have the RRSP to offset any taxes you might owe. So that's why it's very important that you do some planning ahead of time. So number two is that you don't have any money saved up to cover any potential tax liabilities that may arise. So if you don't have the option to contribute to your RSP and lower your taxes owing, and then you also don't have enough money to cover any potential taxes owing, you're going to end up in a bad situation. Okay, and the third thing, which is honestly, I see this all the time. So I would really like to stress this. If you are married or common law, use the same tax preparer for both spouses. So even though in Canada, you don't have anything like the US called married filing jointly, where you basically file one tax return for two spouses. In Canada, even if you are married or common law, each of the spouses need to file a tax return, and they are separate returns. However, the reason why I would say use the same tax preparer for both is because even though they are separate, they can share a lot of credits. So that way, if you're using the same tax preparer, the tax preparer has a bird's eye view of your tax situation and can move credits around to get you, again, the maximum tax savings or maybe a bigger refund, right? If you can share credits. So that's why it's important that you use the same tax preparer. So next is understanding your tax situation. So I see this a lot, and especially my husband as well, because my husband, Jason, is the one who handles most of the tax filing part of our business. I handle more of the bookkeeping part. So number one is T4A, or contracting / side hustle income. You must file a T2125 for this and have a business number. Right? So a lot of people, they have a T4A and they think it's just a slip that you file like a T4. That's actually wrong. It's not just a slip that you file. It's filed with a T2125, which is a sole proprietorship, right? Because that's self-employed income. So you can actually have a lot of deductions against that income. If you have a home office, if you have office expenses, those can all be claimed against your T4A income. So it's very important that you understand your tax situation. Number two, if you are renting out a portion of your primary residence, this will affect your tax situation. So a lot of these things that you don't think about, you're thinking, okay, maybe I just want some rental income. Okay, that's great. But how will that affect your primary residence exemption? Like, years down the line, if you want to sell your house, you should, a lot of people are very used to the primary residence exemption where you don't pay any taxes when you sell your primary residence. So renting out a portion of your house could affect that. So it's very important that with all these financial decisions you make, you do consult with a professional, like how will this affect me long term, right? Number three, getting married, having children, moving provinces, etc. These may all seem like personal issues to you, but all of these affect your personal tax situation. So you should keep your tax preparer updated, right? So if you've just had a baby, you can get some credits for that. So it's important that if your situation changes, you also update your tax professional. Last, and certainly not the least, is expecting a refund. So number one, just because you file a tax return does not mean you are entitled to a refund. Like a refund is because you've overpaid your taxes owing. It's not just a given. So the vast majority of refunds usually come from an employer over deducting your income taxes from your paycheck or contributing to your RRSP, or both. A refund is just not automatically given to you. Okay? And I see this very, very often, so please don't do this. So don't compare your refund versus your friend's refund. So everyone's tax situation is different. No one's is identical. So you might be saying, oh, my friend in the office, I think we're on the same salary. She got a bigger, refund than me. But ask yourself, like, maybe she has kids, maybe she's married, maybe she has other dependents like her parents. So obviously her tax situation would be different. So her refund might be bigger or smaller than yours. So really do not expect a refund. Don't compare the amount of refund you got compared to what your friend got, because everyone's is different. It will never be the same. So, yep, that's it. So those are the top 5 problems we've encountered this tax season for individuals. And if you're interested to see the business version of this, please stay tuned because that will be on our next video. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you always get notified whenever I upload new videos to my YouTube channel. And once again, this is Arielle from Fix My Books, helping you fix your books.